Truckers, what spooky things did you witness on the road? 3 a.m. on a Tuesday in January, and I was grinding through another night haul from Melbourne to Sydney. Been driving truck for 12 years, and the Hume Highway between Melbourne and Albury was as familiar as my own backyard. Dead straight, flat as a pancake, nothing but scrubland and the occasional roadhouse for 300 kilometers. Perfect for making time, terrible for staying alert. The Kenworth's diesel was humming steady at 90, cruise control locked in, air conditioning fighting the summer heat that hadn't broken even after midnight. Temperature gauge outside was still showing 28 degrees. I had the CB radio crackling with occasional chatter from other drivers, mostly complaints about roadworks near Goulburn and warnings about speed cameras. That's when I started seeing the wisps. Little tendrils of what looked like fog drifting through my headlight beams. Weird for a clear summer night, but the Hume could be strange that way. Sometimes you'd get ground mist forming in the low spots. Then the smell hit me through the cab's air vents. Burning plastic, hot metal, something definitely not right. Up ahead, maybe half a kilometer, I could see taillights from the only other vehicle on this stretch of road. A sedan, looked like a Commodore from the profile. There was this tiny yellow glow coming from underneath it, like someone had dropped a cigarette lighter and it was still burning. I grabbed the CB handset. Breaker 19. Got a vehicle up ahead that looks like it might be having some trouble. Anyone else seeing this? Static, dead air, typical for this time of night on this stretch. The yellow glow was getting bigger as I gained on the car. Not fog after all. Definitely smoke, getting thicker by the second. I downshifted and pushed the throttle, closing the gap fast. The Commodore's driver seemed oblivious, maintaining steady speed like nothing was wrong. By the time I was 100 meters behind him, I could see flames licking up from underneath the car's chassis. The muffler and exhaust system were completely engulfed. This guy had maybe minutes before the whole thing went up. I flashed my high beams repeatedly and laid on the air horn, that deep, bone-rattling blast that could wake the dead. The car wavered slightly but kept going. I pulled into the right lane and gunned it to come alongside. The driver was a young guy, maybe mid-20s, wearing a white t-shirt. Windows were up, music probably blasting. Completely unaware his car was about to become a barbecue. I honked the horn again and waved frantically at him. He turned to look at me just as a massive gout of orange flame erupted from under the engine bay and swept across his driver's side window like something out of a movie. His face went white as a sheet. The Commodore swerved hard left onto the shoulder in a cloud of dust and smoke. I hit my hazards and pulled over about 50 meters ahead, already reaching for my phone. Before the truck even stopped rolling, I was out of the cab and sprinting back toward the car. The guy, later told me his name was Danny Chen, was stumbling away from the vehicle, coughing and looking dazed. The entire underside was now a wall of flame, and I could hear the distinctive crackle pop of plastic interior starting to catch. "You okay, mate?" I shouted over the roar of the fire. Yeah, I think so," Danny gasped. "But my phone's in there. My wallet, everything." I was already dialing 000 on my mobile, giving the operator our location. Hume Highway northbound, about 40 kilometers south of Albury. The flames were climbing higher now, reaching the windows. Danny stood there watching his car get consumed, this look of complete shock on his face. Kid couldn't have been more than 23, 24, probably his first car, from the way he was staring at it. The fire brigade showed up 20 minutes later, followed by an ambulance and a highway patrol car. By then, there was nothing left but a blackened shell and the acrid smell of burned rubber and melted plastic hanging in the summer air. I gave Danny all the cash in my wallet, about $60, and let him use my phone to call his parents in Melbourne. Poor Bazard had been driving home after visiting friends in Albury, had no idea his exhaust system was falling apart. Paramedics checked him over, gave him the all clear apart from some minor smoke inhalation. I waited until his dad showed up around 5 a.m. before getting back on the road. Let me tell you, I was wide awake for the rest of that run to Sydney.